pranams to all the Hare Krishna, Danavat pranams to all the assembled devotees. Hope my voice is audible.
Yes, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhu, for confirming. So, thank you for leading the japa. Behalf of our circle leader, I would like to thank all of you who are very attentively leading the japa session. So, let's start today's Bhagavatam class. Prabhu, make me co-host, Prabhu. So, today topic is Canto 1, Chapter 14, Shloka 35 and 36. So let's start the prayer. Narayanam Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jaya Budhiraye नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यभागवतसेवया भगवते उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिके कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः. So, firstly, I would like to thank everybody, those who are present here, and the opportunity which given by our wonderful leaders. So thank you once again for everybody. So before I say anything, I would like to take the blessings of Guru and Gauranga and request all your prayers, devotees, so that I can say something as it is from this Bhagavatam shloka, whatever I heard from the senior Vaishnavas, and so that I can repeat it correctly. So that will purify my heart and all to help you to understand this shloka. So this chapter, there are very important, discussions between or expressions of Yudhishthir Maharaj. So that we will go through. I'll read out the shloka. So kindly go through the shloka if you have a text. Otherwise, I'll share. Prabhu is only sharing. Okay, thank you, Prabhu. Shloka 35 and 36. Mangalaaya cha lokanam, Kshemaaya cha bhavaya cha, Aste yadukulam bodhavya, Ananta sukhapumam, Yadbha udandaguptayam, Swapuryam yadamorchitaha, Kridanti paramananda, Mahapaurishika hiva. Once again, I'll repeat. Mangalaya cha lokanam, Kshemaya cha bhavaya cha, Aste yadukulam bodhavyot, Ananta sukhaha pumam, Yadbahudandaguptayam, Swapurya yadamorchitaha, Kridanti paramananda, Mahapaurushika iva. Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Ashtotara Shata Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So Anuvada, I'll read once in Kannada because I have it in Kannada, and I'll read in English also. ಭೋಕ್ತಾರನಾದ ಮೂಲ ದೇವೋತ್ತಮ ಪರಮಪುರುಷನು ಮತ್ತು ಆದಿಪ್ರಭುವಾದ ಅನಂತ ಬಲರಾಮನು ಇಡೀ ವಿಶ್ವದ ಕ್ಷೇಮ ರಕ್ಷಣೆಗಾಗಿ ಮತ್ತು ಅವರ ಎಂದಿನ ಪ್ರಗತಿಯ ಸಲುವಾಗಿ ಯದುವಂಶವೆಂಬ ಸಾಗರದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಯದುವಂಶದವರೆಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಭುವಿನ ತೋಳುಗಳಿಂದ ರಕ್ಷಣೆ ಪಡೆದು ಆಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮ ಕಾಶದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿವಾಸಿಗಳಂತೆ ಆನಂದದಿಂದ ಬಾಳುತ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. I just read out in English. So, shortage of time, I'm not reading the purport, so you can glance it there. The translation, in English by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The original personality of a Godhead, the enjoyer, and Balarama, the primeval Lord Ananta, are staying in the ocean of Yadu dynasty for the welfare, protection, and general progress of the entire universe, and the number of the Yadu dynasty being protected by the arms of the Lord are enjoying life like the resident of the spiritual world. ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानार्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येनं तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतलक्ष्मीपते जगत्स्वामिने नमो नमाचार्य पदाय कृपदाय गौरवप्रदाय नगरग्रामचारिणे नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतलक्ष्मीपते स्वामिने नमो नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशधारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 Hare Hare. So, in this chapter is called as Krishnana Antardhana. So, in this chapter, there are many deep feelings expressed or arised, especially in the heart of Yudhishthira Maharaj. So, at the end of the 13th chapter, what happens when Yudhishthira Maharaj met Narada Muni? He gets a miraculous indication, surprise. What is that? He says that Krishna is going to leave this world, Krishna's Antardhana. So he has clearly given indication. So in 14th chapter, so from then in Yudhishthira Maharaj's heart, there is a feeling of sadness began to arise after hearing this from Narada Muni. As soon as when we started reading this chapter of 14, slowly we can see that Yudhishthira Maharaj gets confirmation of all the indication, whatever he heard from Narada Muni. So this is just a background of this shloka to understand. So the confirmation of those, what are those confirmation? So when he sent Arjuna, he didn't return back. And there are a lot of discomforts in the nature. So what is that? Apashakunas. That is also a few of shlokas we have discussed. And also is in his body itself, there are, he's not feeling comfort. So even there are another few more confirmation he was getting it. So he is sharing all his worries with whom? With Bhima, right? So this is what we have understood. So while discussing something with the Bhima, so his emotions, like, everybody can see when he was discussing with Bhima, this is what happened. See, Arjuna did not return from the Dwaraka. We don't know what happened and all. So we can see that, everybody are kind of sadness and unhappy because whatever is being indicated by Narada Muni, it is getting a lot of support. So now, in this shloka, what we can understand is Yudhishthira Maharaj is not asking any questions, because in previous shloka also we can see there that he was telling that Krishna is Bhagavan api Govindo Brahmano Bhaktavatsalaha. So he was expressing who is Bhagavan, what is a Krishna, what is his famous for, right? So he wanted to somehow, the Yudhishthira unable to bear that Krishna's antardhana. So he just want to stay away from that sorrow. So that is the reason he is expressing all the positive, and the beauty of Lord Krishna. So he did not want to, really that happen, like Krishna can leave this world. And because when there is no Krishna in this world, then that is what Apushakuna, I mean, that is not auspicious. When Krishna leaves this world, that is all inauspicious. After that, whatever happens, that is what inauspicious. Then what happens? So when Arjuna returned from Dwarka, so he saw that he was coming with crying. So he's a great warrior, right? So Arjuna is crying. Tears are flowing from his eyes. Usually men do not cry, right? But especially when there is a Kshatriya, a great warrior like Arjuna, or like a Pandavas, if any person like that is crying, then it shows that he is weak, isn't it? But the person is completely breakdown, or he's weak, generally that is what the indication. But here Arjuna is crying, all are sad because of the separation of the supreme personality of Godhead. In the shloka, we can understand the key term called Mangalayacha. So what is Mangalayacha? Mangalayacha is the Sarvocha position of a living entity. What is that? When we are connected with Krishna, the Supreme Lord, that is what Mangalayacha. So that is what Vishwanatha Thakur explains. So what is a Mangalayacha for us? For any human being, for any living entity, when they connected with the Supreme Lord. So now, of course, they have to cry, they have to weep, because they are getting separated from the Lord Krishna. So once he leaves this world, there is no work, or this is waste of being in this world. That is what they're understanding, and they are weeping for it. So to keep themselves away from that pain, so here especially Yudhishthira is expressing different ways to understand, to console himself that Krishna is there, still Krishna is everything, and he's just recalling all his wonderful pastimes. Okay. So now coming to this point that Krishna is no more, then even in the last shlokas also, he will finally ask Arjuna from those feelings, like whatever the separation feelings he has, and Krishna, by seeing Arjuna's face, because he is also lamenting, right? So there we can understand that Yudhishthira Maharaj and all our other Pandavas are saying that they are totally unhappy because there is no Krishna with us. Okay. Then so now we can see that Krishna, now Yudhishthira Maharaj directly or indirectly asking Arjuna that how are the people in Dwarka? Is Samba is good? Is Krishna and Balarams are good? What are they doing? How are their protection and expansion? So how they are helping the people? So there are so many questions and expressions asking by the Yudhishthira. And here we can say that is not only asking, and he also says that, the people, those who are in Dwaraka, they are the people of Vaikunta. He expressed that, such a merciful people of Dwaraka, because all these Yaduvasis, Yaduganas, there is no difference between the people of Vaikunta, because though they are in the material world, they're experiencing the spiritual ecstasy or bliss, because they are connected to Krishna. Every day they can see Krishna, they can serve Krishna. So that is the ultimate position of each and every living being. So when Chatur Kumaras enters the Vaikunta, so there Brahma is also describing in many shlokas to please the Vishnu, and they were, after hearing that when there is a praising of Lord, Supreme Lord, then that was the ultimate, what to say, spiritual bliss. They enjoyed it. So that's the same way even the Dwarka Vasis, Purajanas of Dwarka, are enjoying the same bliss, even though they are in material world, but they are enjoying the spiritual. This is what he is expressing in the sloka. So there, every living being in the complete consciousness of God, like those who are there connected, those who are there in Krishna consciousness, they were always think about Krishna. So that is what they really get happiness. If they are away from Krishna, or if they are away from the God consciousness, Krishna consciousness, that is where they suffer. So generally what they do, the people who connect with Krishna, connect with the Supreme, so they always speak something, they sing something, in the form of shlokas, in the form of kirtan, or in the form of Krishna Katha. So everybody will be glorifying. See, once what happens in Golok Vrindavan, there are beautiful birds, especially melodious birds. They always sing. In Goloka, this is what happens. They sing about Krishna Katha, they sing the glories of the Lord and all. Even if there is a Brahmar, the mumming bird, even if try to sing, they will stop it. The sweet, melodious singing birds also stop it, and they allow the Brahmar also to sing, mumming bird to mum. That is what, the what to say, humility. That is what we have to follow here also. Like everyone should listen, whether they say whether they say very nicely, whether they narrate the pastimes of the Lord in very glorious way according to their capacity. But we should allow other devotees also to talk about the virtue of the Lord, like Gunagana. So that is what happens in Goloka Vrindavan. It means that we should understand the quality of humility. The devotees should always humility. They should not be proud that I know much more than you about the God. There is no supremacy in spiritual services. Even be it from the menial service to the topmost service, each and every service is the same. Krishna will happy with each and every services. Even whatever the service, we do it in the material world or else the spiritual world. So we should allow others to perform devotional service, and we should also upgrade with our devotional service. This is what humility, and everybody should enjoy the virtue of the God by engaging in his service. Okay, so this is what happening even in the resident of the Yadu, that is in material world of Dwarka. Okay, so now though we were in even in a material world, we should always connect to Krishna, then that will become the spiritual world. So in SP, Srimad Bhagavatam 1.2.6, there is a shloka called Savai Pumsha Paro Dharma Yatho Bhaktir Adokshite Adai Ahaituki Apratihata Yayatma Supra Siddhati. So in every living being, it is natural state to be connected with God. So then only the living being can experience the true happiness. This is what said in this shloka. So I'll just read out this translation. The supreme occupation or dharma of all the humanity is that by which man can attain to loving devotional service unto the transcendental Lord. Such devotional service must be unmotivated and uninterrupted to completely satisfy itself. So we are the soul, we are not the body, that we already know. Okay, so the soul can only be happy when it is connected with the source, right? The soul, what is the source? What is the definition of the source? Where the Prabhupada says, and we all know, so we are the part and parcel of the Supreme Personality. So soul can be happy only when it connected with the source, right? This is what the understanding, and this understanding is not so difficult. It is very easy. So like for example, so we have, this whole word is made up of 5 elements that everybody knows. So then each element has its own nature. Say, for example, when we connect, for example, water. So when we throw water, what happens? Each and every water, wherever you find, even if water in the lake or river, so everything try to merge with the ocean, right? And because when it goes to and merge with the ocean, then that is what it completes, right? So every drop of water, a very small river, wants to merge in the ocean because to get completed. So that's why all the rivers flow towards the oceans at once finally, right? And because they feel experience, they feel good or complete happy. Then another example, like if you take a fire. So what's the source of fire? The heat and light, that is sun. So what happens when you ignite any fire? So what happens? Have you seen the fire? Where it goes? It goes here and there, it comes down. No, it always moves upward, right? So because it want to go towards the sun, it want to go and merge with the sun, connect with the sun, connect with its source, right? So we will, and also there is any objectives, hot objective, like when you heat the gas, even because of the conduction, what happens? The earth's surface get heated and all the hot air rises up, right? That's what the cloud forms and it comes back as a rain. So even this gas, what happens? When it heated, it start moving upward, rising upward. So this is what the nature of each and every element which is there on this earth surface. Even taken soil, right? So when you throw, soil on the upward, what happens? It will not go up to the sky or, sun. It will fall down, correct? Because it want to connect with the source. So yesterday when I was hearing Prabhupada's lecture, so he was telling that, there is a finger. So this finger, when you cut or, it is not connected, then there is no value. Not only the finger, any part of the body, right? Because when we get completed or when it get utilized, it should be connected. So even we want to utilize this human body for an utmost cause, we have to connect with Krishna. Otherwise, we are committing suicide. So it's not suicide that, something else. When we are not utilizing our life to serve Krishna consciousness, that is also a Maha Aparad. It's a very greatest sin. So the natural state of the soul is to get connected. Even to understand, Prabhupada was saying that, when you take a pen, any part of the pen cap, maybe the top or bottom or the refill without the nib. So without any one part, it is incomplete, right? So since we are part and parcel of Krishna, so we have to always connect with Krishna to complete our life. So right. Then until we connect ourselves, then we'll not be able to attain the happiness what we want. So see here, the people do many things, like they go to pub, club, they hang out with their friends, they do lot of material activity, but still they are not happy because that is not our nature. Enjoying in this material world is not our nature. That and the nature, the spiritual nature or the actual guna of this soul is to get connected to Krishna. But you know what? Many people say that, okay, fine. So all these elements are merging on their strength or the main source. Then I want to merge. Many people, we encounter many devotees, newcomers and all in our Krishna consciousness also. They ask, I want to merge with the Lord. I want to get mukti. I want to lean. I want to get Leena Bhikkhu. See, what is this Leena? In our body, there are so many germs, microbes, right? Sukshmanu, right? So even it is there within our body, it is there, but we are not connected with this because we don't know that what's happening in our body, because there is no intimacy, there is no ultimate connection with this, germs what we have. The same way in Brahma Jyoti also, many people want to go for Brahma Jyoti, they want to merge over there. So just merge. They, God will also ignore, like how we ignore the micro organs which is there in our body. So we won't even connect with that because there is no intimate love. We never think that, oh yeah, I have a lot of germs in my body, I love the germs. There is no intimate love developed with them. So that's how happens when you try to merge with the Brahman effulgence, because there is no intimacy. It's just like, you are ignored by the Lord itself. So you don't get any experience of that divine state of happiness. Okay. So next, when we when we read this shloka, there are very important point like Mangalaya cha, Shemaya cha, and this other one is Bhavambudhi. So that we'll just discuss about these things in another 10 minutes. So here, yeah. So this word, everywhere we search happiness, I already said, right? And we search happiness until we connect Krishna, whatever we get, it is not complete happiness. We just, that's not actually a bliss. That's not just an ananda, it's just an happiness. Happiness is temporary, which we all knows, right? So, see, in this chapter, I mean, when we touch Bhagavatam or when we hear Bhagavatam, the very exalted devotee, what we remember is the Parikshit Maharaj. So why Parikshit Maharaj is called Parikshita? Because everywhere he's tested. He's also tested and he want to test. So what happens when Parikshit Maharaj was very young, he was in childhood, he sat on the lap of Yudhishthira and he was playing. Then Krishna entered into that his place. Okay. So then Parikshit Maharaj saw that he's Krishna, and somewhere he recalled, I've seen him somewhere. When he saw Krishna's face, he was so happy. And after some time, he put his head down and he was like very sorrow, like kind of doubtful, deviledness. This is what observed by Yudhishthira. Yudhishthira, like, why this child Parikshit is happy when he saw Krishna after some time, when he put his head down and he looked worried. Then Krishna says, Yudhishthira asks Krishna, Krishna, what's happening with our Parikshit? Then Krishna says, you know what? When I entered the Uttara's womb, when he was a small baby, then he saw my Chaturbhuja. Now I am not in Chaturbhuja, I'm in two-handed palm. He's unable to identify me completely. Then he started showing the Chaturbhuja to Parikshit, and he was so happy, and he was completely satisfied, and he was understood that he is only the Lord himself. So this is what happens. Okay. Then, so even we do lot of things to keep us happy, as I told you, but nowhere we get happy because we are not connected to Krishna consciousness. And there is one beautiful shloka in Bhagavatam, as I told you, 1.2.6, Savai Pumsha Paradharma. So here Prabhupada says Pravritti and Nivritti. So that is very important. So we have a Pravritti, we have certain nature. So natural tendency. What is that natural tendency? If you just take an iron, bit of iron. So what is a natural tendency? Wherever there is a certain limits, wherever there is a magnet. So what is it, pravritti? It just connected wherever it is. So there, some of the people, even we are all in Krishna consciousness. So we heard about this Prabhupada's movement and Krishna consciousness somewhere here and there. So what is our intention? We want, though whatever the position we were, we just try to connect with the devotees, and we try to engage ourselves in the Krishna consciousness. And here there's another shloka called Kridanti. So very beautiful, that Kridanti. Kridanti is like Yadukula Vasis. The Yadukula Vasi, this is what the inquiry of Yudhishthira Maharaj with Arjuna. Like, what are they doing? They were very playful in Krishna's word. I mean, Yadukula people, Yadugunas, they were playing with Krishna, even though whatever they do, because they are connected with Krishna, they're surrounding with Krishna. So even as I told you, we'll discuss about the three word. So let's start with Bhavanti. So once what happened, like Bhavanti, what is Bhavanti? Bhava is this material word. Bhavanti cha, right? So Bhava is like material word. Bhavanti cha. So those who are in the material word, okay? And Kshema Vacha. So Kshema Vacha is Krishna is taking care of this. Like in this purport also, it is mentioned that Balaram is Adi Guru. So he's taking care of everybody in this Dwaraka Desh. This is what Yudhishthira's question, isn't it? Means inquiring. So here, once what happens, one pastime of Srila Prabhupada and his disciple. So once Prabhupada has initiated his disciple as a Bhavananda. Sorry, I'll take just another 5 minutes, because since it is a holiday, I just wanted to glorify a few of the things which I have heard from the shloka. So with Prabhu's permission. Okay. So Prabhupada's disciple, Prabhupada has given the initiation of that his disciple as Bhavananda. So everybody was started teasing, what is this Bhavananda? You are enjoying in this material world. So you are not coming to Goloka. You're not a spiritual body. I mean, you didn't get that such a good spiritual name. See, your name is Bhavananda. So Bhava is material word. Ananda means you'll enjoy this material word. When we enjoy this material, we'll not come back to Godhead. That's what I'm understanding, right? Then he felt very sad, and he went and inquired with Prabhupada. Prabhupada, what is this? People are saying like this. And Prabhupada said, see, you are Bhavananda. Yes, when you will get Bhavananda in this material world, when you will get happiness? Not by eating, drinking, enjoying this material opulences. When you engage yourself into book distribution or preaching, right? So when you do that, then only you will get happiness, isn't it? So when you engage your spiritual activities in this material world, then you are a Bhavananda. So then he felt happy, right? And another one shloka Krishna says about Kshema Vacha. So this is mentioned in this shloka. So in BG 9.25, Ananya Chintoyanto Ma Ye Jana Paryapsathe Tesham Nitya Viyuktana Yogokshema Vahamyaham. So Krishna says in this shloka. So what is that? Ananya Chinta Yanto Ma. So the translation says, those who are always worship me and with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry whatever they lack, and I preserve what they have. So regarding this, we have heard a lot of stories and all, but actual meaning of this is Krishna says, anyhow, this is temporary, right? Whatever we get, he's not telling us that I'll protect your house, I'll protect your job. Actually, he says, whatever the devotional activities you perform this year, I will keep it and I will carry forward in the next year. If you take a chance, if you take next birth because of doing some kind of aparad and all, but still, I will carry whatever you have ended the spiritual activities in this janma. Next janma, you don't need to start from the beginning. I will give it from where you have stopped, right? So this is what Krishna says. He will protect our all the spiritual credit, and he'll also help us to upgrade ourselves, our advancement very easily in this material world. Okay, so then here we can understand another one thing is when we are into this material world, it's full of sorrows, bhaya, right? Always bhaya, shoka is very common. But when we have when we are in connected to spiritual activities and connected to Krishna, if we are really serving with complete surrenderance, with a true heart, with a complete filled love with Krishna, we don't have any fear. We were nirbhaya because Krishna is already declared he'll take care of us. What we need? We have come here to go back to Godhead, right? So real devotees will understand the meaning of this properly. So what happens is, I think my favorite story is Aladhini Mataji's story. Even see, though she has come to Krishna consciousness very few years back, and she's a foreigner. She's a lady. What happens when African some gundas attacked the temple? She stood up front. She front and she tried to protect all the other devotees because their intention is to kill the other devotees apart Aladhini Mataji, because they also have a lot of great respect on her because her virtue was so great and it was known to overall the Africa. So their intention is not to kill her, but what she said, if you want to kill any of the single Vaishnava, you have to kill me after my when I lose my life, then you are allowed to kill. Until I'm alive, you're not supposed to kill anybody. See, this is what shows that nirbhayata, because she's so connected to Krishna. She serves a lot in great way. But you know what happens, all our the spiritual credit, sometimes we lose it because committing the lot of aparadas, not attentive chanting, Vaishnavas aparad. So this is where we lose our spiritual credit. So we have to be very much careful. Another one example, what we can see, the nirbhayata guna, when I heard this from one of the Maharaj, what Agasura story everybody knows. You know what? Devatas every day they drink amrita. What is amrita? After drinking amrita, you will be immortal, isn't it? But still they have a very fear by seeing all these demigods, sorry, all these Rakshasa, demons. Even they were also afraid of Agasura. And even they are drinking amrita, but they were scared. They were like panic. Always they were in bhaya, shoka and all. What happens? What happens when he'll come and kill us and all? But when Agasura has come to kill Krishna, is a big snake is Agasura, right? So he just there on the earthly platform. Then all the Gopabalakas thought that, hey, it's look like snake, but sometimes some of them thought that it's like a guha, it's like one cave. And they started entering. Krishna himself felt very scared, like, what is this? These people are rushing inside the mouth of Agasura, and somehow Krishna protected them. But the understanding, the moral of this is, like, they are very sure that Krishna is there with us and he'll protect us. Why we have to be very scared? And they start playing and enjoying. So this is what one of the example of nirbhayata of a pure devotees like Gopaganas, Gopa Balakas. So then the final word, I'll just conclude it, that Mangalayacha. So Mangalayacha is all auspicious. We generally address, there is a lot of gunas for names for Lord Supreme, right? Supreme Lord. So we call him as a Hari also, like Hari. Why we call him as a Hari? Why? What's the meaning of Hari? It says that Sarva Mangala Hari Hare iti Hari. Like all inauspicious will be vanished when we chant Hare. Hari is only the name which diminish all the inauspiciousness, right? Yeah, so that's the reason what happens generally the people, those who are connected with Krishna consciousness, a test, those who are very serious, they want to be very serious in Krishna consciousness, then they always face one and the other problem, right? What happens, one of the disciple of Prabhupada came and said, Prabhupada, it's very difficult to stay in Krishna consciousness, I mean association with Krishna, because lot of test, see what is our understanding, we all know when anything happens, when you are in Krishna consciousness, that is there for our purification. Why we troubleshoot some of the problems, encounter some of the bodily problems. Some people face a lot of health issues, relationship issues, professional issues. Why? Because that is the way Krishna is helping us to purify. We should not dwell and we should not stop our devotional activities. So this disciple also asked Prabhupada, what to do? It's very difficult to stay in devotees association because lot of problems, lot of amangala. Then Prabhupada says, yes, that's because of, purification. So spiritual life is difficult. Spiritual life is difficult, I agree. But material life is impossible. You cannot have any material life. There is no life in material. Better you should have difficulty in spiritual life. So that's how the little purification here take place. Then we can able to progress in our Krishna consciousness. So this is what says. And again, I have already told, Vishwanath Chakravarti says the ultimate position of each and every living being is Sarvocha Sthiti of human being is to connect with Krishna. So every part is longing and craving to get connected with the whole. So that is what we have to do. So we have to connect. And last point is in Goloka chart, if we see, there are for 14, Goloka chart is all about the 14 words, right? So there in Bhautika Prapancha, in earthly planet, there's a one line connected to all the Vaikuntha planets, like after Brahmaloka. So what is that indication of that line? That line says that only when you chant Harer Nama Kevalam in this Kali Yuga, that helps you to go back to Godhead. So in this, I would like to end up saying that kindly pray for me so that I can also serious in Krishna consciousness and I can make my life complete. So let us all of chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra very sincerely and attentively to go back to Godhead and Krishna. Thank you so much for wonderful opportunity, and I'm extremely sorry that today I have extended the time. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.